I'm about to sneeze. Oh, good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday morning, and I feel like it's been so long since we've had one of these sit-down morning coffee chats. Oh my gosh, do you see the steam coming off of this? Oh, glorious. Oh, and it's just right. I personally have decided that I want to drink less caffeine, and it's hard. And what's hysterical is yesterday I got to work and I was so tired. Like, I don't know what it was. It had been a long week and I still had decided to wake up at 4:45 in the morning to go do a workout. So I was tired, but then still woke up that early, but then decided not to drink caffeine. So I went to get a decaf coffee because I thought it was like half the amount of caffeine as a regular cup of coffee. When I discovered after my second meeting of the morning, as I'm yawning like 25 times in this meeting, that I mentioned that I got a decaf coffee, and they're like, you know that has no caffeine. No, I thought it had caffeine. I thought it just had less caffeine. It literally has basically a milligram of caffeine in it. So this morning I am having a cup of coffee. I'm going to limit it to 1 cup of coffee today, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, but we're not here to talk about my caffeine problems. We are here to talk about something way more exciting. I'm pulling up my phone because I jotted down some notes as I was getting home last night, thinking about what to talk about with all my YouTube friends out there today. And one of the things that came to mind was I previously filmed a video about what to look for in a husband. Like, I think it was titled like 5 things to look for in a husband. Now, I would even take this back a little bit farther, and today I'm gonna talk about 5 things to look for in a boyfriend that you're dating. So here's the deal. Like, dating can be complicated, right? Like, you start dating a guy and you're not really sure what to look for besides like, do I enjoy this person? But you're not really sure, like, am I ready to commit to a committed relationship with them, right? Like, you've been on some dates, you've enjoyed your time together, and you're not sure, like, do we take the next step or do we break things off and call it good, right? It can be confusing, it can be complicated, there can be emotions involved, there can be all sorts of dynamics. Not every relationship is the same. So take what I have to say with a grain of salt. Is that the saying? I don't know. Just take it into consideration that there's obviously other parameters around if you should break up with somebody, if you should keep the relationship moving forward. But I'm just talking about in those initial dates, in those initial moments of getting to know somebody, of going out with somebody, what is it that you should be looking for in their life? I'm talking like you've been on 5 dates with them, you've been really getting to know them for the last month or 2, and you're like, I don't know, do I want to take this relationship to the next step? Here are some things I would look out for. So, 5 things to look for in a guy that you are starting to date. Here we go, ladies and gents. First thing I would say to look for is, do you see the fruit in his life? You've spent some time with him now. He's probably told you a lot about who he is and what he likes to do and put his best foot forward, right? But can you actually see the fruit of that in his lives? I would begin to look at the fruit in his life. Does he have great relationships with the people in his life? Does he have awesome community? Does he really love the Lord? And how do you see that play out in his life? What is the fruit of that in his life? Does he have peace and patience and self-control? Do you see the fruit of his faith in his own life? It is so important that we don't just talk the talk, but we walk the walk. We actually want to see if the person that we are getting to know is able to walk the walk. Like, do they have these values, but you actually see these values in their life? Do they have a value for relationship with God? Do they have a value for spending time with quality friends? If they do, then what does that look like? If they have a value for the Lord, how do you see that play out in their life? Are they communicating about their relationship with the Lord? Are they telling you what they've experienced of God? Are they telling you about their time that they've spent with Him? Often when we love somebody so much, we can't help but talk about them. And so I would begin to look for signs. Do they love the Lord so much that they are inspired to talk about Him? Do they love their friends so much that they are inspired to make plans with them and spend time with them? I would look for those things in somebody's life. Do they have the fruit of the things that they value in their life? Next thing I would look for is, do they have direction? Now, I'm not saying that the person that you are going on dates with and that you've started to date and you're wondering if you should take the relationship a step further. And maybe the step is to be in a committed relationship. Maybe the step is to really begin to think about the future with this person. I'm not talking like, is the step to even go on a first date? Is the step to get engaged to this person? I'm just talking about like those initial stages of a relationship where you're just trying to figure out like, does this still feel good? Are there key signs of good coming from this relationship? Direction. I'm not saying the person has to have it all figured out and they have a 10-year plan for their life, but do they have vision for their life? Do they feel excited about the things that they've been called to and they feel like they have a goal that they're trying to reach? Now, when you're dating in your early 20s, that goal might change from one day to the next day. But I would look for, does this person have an aspiration for life and what they've been called to? Do they feel excited about the things that they have been called to and that they desire to do with their future? Is there a passion inside of them that leads them to a direction? Now, that might look like a career. That might look like building a life that cultivates family. That might look like ministry. Like that could look like a million things, but I would look for key indicators that this person has direction and is driven in that area, that they actually have the drive to make those things happen. Being with somebody that has no passion and no direction can feel stagnant. It can feel really, it can almost, even for myself, because I'm such a visionary, forward-thinking, driven person, I even sometimes feel sad. I can start to feel like depressed because this person just kind of just lives like, well, like what happens today for me. And I don't have any aspiration to make my life any more exciting or better. I'm just gonna like let life happen to me. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Maybe you are looking for that in a person, but I would say that finding someone with direction is so key, because even in your relationship, you want somebody that can lead and have vision for where your relationship is going. Not just like, well, I hope today goes well. That doesn't really build a lot of security and stability and trust in a relationship. It kind of just goes, I'm not sure if you're just going to be tossed by what happens today and maybe tomorrow we're not together. Like I need some level of commitment and direction and drivenness in you. Okay, number 3. Is he true to his word? When he says he's going to do something, does he do it? Does he follow through? When he says he's going to pick you up at a certain time, is he there at that time? If he says you guys are going to do something, if he makes plans for you in the future, does he actually do it? And if he doesn't, is he communicating about the fact that he's not going to, or why, or when he's going to make up for that, or what other idea he has instead of doing that thing? And say, is he true to his word? Like that could look like between you guys, but I would also look for that in the other areas of his life. Like when he says he's going to do something with friends, is he committed to it? And if he's not, what does it look like? How does he address that in his life? That could even look like boundaries between you guys. Like maybe there's been a set boundary of, I'm not going to do something physical with you unless we talk about it. Well, if he just does something physical with you and you don't talk about it, that's not being true to your word. That's actually just breaking trust. And those are the first initial stages of a relationship with somebody. You're really looking for, can I trust this person, right? You're laying the first foundation of the house. And if the house is not built on a firm foundation full of trust, it's not that it's not redeemable or not possible to fix that. But it does really dictate the strength of the relationship that you will have. So if this person isn't able to build a firm foundation of trust and be true to their word, it's going to be hard to build a relationship with this person any further that feels safe and secure for you. Number 4. Now, just in general, do you enjoy spending time with this person? Sometimes I think we can almost feel obligated. The more time we spend with somebody, the more obligated we feel that we have to spend more time with them. I don't know why that really is or how that works for us, but I think the more invested you get, the more you feel like you have to do something. When the reality is, if you're not enjoying it, it's probably a clear sign that something's not right. Because one of the first things you should be looking for in dating somebody is if you enjoy spending time with them. Do you really, really enjoy them? Like, is there not enough time in the day to be together? That's kind of those initial feelings you should feel when you're dating somebody. Now, of course, there might be moments that you feel like you don't want to spend time with them because you need time to actually go figure out with what you're feeling or where you're at, or you just need time to process. That's totally okay. But in general, do you just so love being with this person? There's just like not enough time in the day, not enough time in the world to just spend with them, and you just really, really enjoy it because you don't need to be obligated to spend time with somebody. If you find yourself coming home and almost feeling a little bit relieved that you're away from them, it's probably a clear sign that you shouldn't move forward in the relationship, that you should really examine why it is that you're feeling that way. And maybe the reason why you're feeling that way is something that's really fixable, but you need to communicate why you're feeling that way to this person and see if they can take ownership and change that experience for you. Okay, next one, you guys. Number 5, last but not least, does he inspire you? Does his life inspire you to be a better person, to have a stronger relationship with the Lord, to do greater things with your life? Do you feel bigger and like more is possible when you're with them, or do you feel smaller and less capable and almost trapped when you're with them? You want to have this person inspire you, but in general, if this person's life is not inspiring you to do the right things, to live a life that's better than the one you were living on your own, I would say it's probably a clear sign. You need to ask some questions. Ask him questions, ask yourself questions. If their life doesn't inspire you, there's probably a reason the fruit that's coming from their life doesn't feel appealing or appetizing. And if that's the case, we need to examine that, because this is kind of one of those areas you're beginning to see, are we equally yoked? Is where he's at in life, does it inspire me in certain areas to do the right thing, to be better, to have great quality conversations? I mean, the list goes on. But also, is my life inspiring him? Are we kind of equal in this area? Do we have similar values? I would be looking for those, because if you're in a relationship that is not equally yoked, it's actually going to just feel exhausting. Like you are being dragged down and you're having to pull the weight of encouraging this person and inspiring this person, when it should be this igniting experience. Like when you guys are together, it should feel like we are just so excited for life and the life that we could build together, and almost like we're catalysts to each other. We both are encouraging each other to live a life that is full of amazing things. So there are just 5 short, simple things to start looking for in those initial days of dating somebody. I hope this video was inspiring to you, that it made you realize there should be some things you're looking for when you're dating in those initial moments of a relationship. And I would love to hear in the comments below, if this was helpful, which of these points was really helpful for you? And also would love to know what other topics, what other questions you would like answered in terms of dating, young married life, relationships. I'm here for it. I love this conversation. So ladies, hope you enjoyed your cup of coffee that I never even drank this morning with y'all, but I promise it's good. I'm gonna finish it because, like I said, we're only getting one of these today. So until next time, you guys, I love you all, and I'll see you all next time. Have a beautiful week.